what's up? This is Jesse from Cantilever Games. Today I want to do a quick video on making a floating item in Unity. You see this a lot in games where like an item will be like floating up and down and also spinning in circles. So I just wanted to show how to create something like that. Here's a clip of what I'll be creating. So I made a new scene in Unity and I just basically have the main camera, this little item I've created, a directional light, and a floor. First thing you want to do when creating an animation is to make sure that you have this animation tab down here. The way you do that is go to Window, Animation. That'll bring it here. Now if I click on the object I want to animate, I can hit this button, Create, and now we could create a new animation file. I'll just call this Floating Item. So now we have a new animation created called Floating Item. If you want to create another animation, you could do that right here, Create New Clip, and do the same thing. The way I do animations is I have the item selected and then I hit this record button. When you hit the record button, now every action you make on the game object will be recorded in the timeline. So first thing I want to do is make the object move up and down a little bit. So I'm going to come to the timeline, I'm going to pick a new time and move the object up. You can see two new keyframes have been created, one at the beginning and one at this new time selection, and it's changing the item's position. If you expand that further, you can see actually the X, Y, and Z and what is changing. You can click on the time frames. If you don't like them, you can hit delete and delete them, or you can move them around to a different time period. You can also copy and paste. So for example, I'm going to take this first one and copy it and paste it down here somewhere, because I want the animation to end at the same place that it started. So you can see already if we scrub through this, the item will move up and down. So right now the game object goes up and then back down to the center location. Before doing this, I want it to go down a little bit further as well. So I'm going to come here and move the object down like this. So now the object will move up, down, and back to the middle, and it'll loop back around to its original position. So now we'll play the animation and take a look. We can see it's kind of sporadic. It's very jumpy. The way we could fix that is if you come down here to curves, you can see the actual transitions that the objects make from one point to the next point. I'm using the middle mouse wheel to zoom in on this. And if you do that when holding shift, you can kind of expand it vertically and you can get a better view of what's going on. So for this case, we're moving the object up and down in the Y. So we want to look at the Y motion. And that's this green curve here. Really what we want this to look like is a nice smooth sine wave. Right now you can see this part looks pretty good, but down here you get a hump. And this hump is what's making the animation look jumpy. So the way you fix that is all of these points here, they give you a tangent line that you can move and adjust. So generally you want this line to kind of follow the curve, kind of like that. I found that seems to work best. Except for when you're changing direction, then you want a flat line like this. So here you want to take it from going flat to more following the curve. Maybe we'll adjust this to be a little bit more even. Now there's a nice smooth sine wave, and the animation should look a lot smoother. You can change the speed of the animation by again going to Window, Animator, and you get this animator window. We only have one animation right now, the floating item animation, and you can see it's looping over and over again. They give you an option to change the speed, so I'm going to change this to 0.3. You can see the object moves a lot slower now. So now the last thing I want to do is make the object rotate 360 degrees while it's moving up and down. To do that, we'll come back over here and hit record again, and we'll go back to Dope Sheet. And for this one, it's kind of easy. We're going to start at 0 and just come over here and end at 360 degrees. You can see the two keyframes have now been created, and now the object will also rotate as it moves up and down. So if we play it now, we can see that the object moves up and down and also rotates. But again, there's kind of a problem where as the object rotates, it stops before rotating again. Once again, this is related to the curves. So if you come down here again to curves, you can now see the curve for the object rotation. And the reason it's stopping is because of this flat line here, the way that the curve comes up and then goes flat. We really want just a linear curve here. So if you take both points and kind of point them at each other and make a straight line, that'll get rid of that problem. So if we play it now, the animation should work and run smoothly. You'll see the object moves up and down and rotates 360 degrees and doesn't stop. So that's all I have. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks, bye. And so that's all I have. If you like this, please... Fuck.
You could do that. Oh yeah.